Hello guys, I am Dr. Devendra Mishra, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry at Bidla Institute of Applied Sciences, right? Also running this Tetrahedron Chemistry Classes channel, and here are the links available to approach me. Hello friends, welcome back to the Tetrahedron Chemistry Classes. So guys, in today class, I will continue with that organometallic compound series, and this is my lecture 2, right? In the last lecture, if you recall, I have explained the definition of the organometallic compounds, okay, and their few applications, right? And then I have also introduced the concept of hapticity, okay, and that hapticity concept was very important. In fact, in the last lecture, whatever I have taught you, okay, or whatever I have explained in that particular lecture, that lecture has the potential of giving you at least 2 marks in your CSIR net examination, okay. However, it is also important for your GATE and your IIT JAM examination, okay. You should remember this thing. So in today's class, say guys, I am going to explain the 18 electron rule, okay, and this 18 electron is quite basic and quite simple, right? And you don't need to worry much about this particular topic. The only problem is that, see, when you actually start thinking in the different manners, and if you are following the different textbooks or the different lectures, only then the problem occurs. You stick only one thing, okay. Whatever you want to do, see, if you are expert in one technique, then you should stick on that particular technique, provided that the technique should be correct, okay. So guys, I'm talking about the transition metal complexes, okay. So we'll go for the transition metal complexes, organometallic compounds, and we'll see the 18 electron rule, and see why this 18 electron systems, or 18 electron containing organometallic compounds, are considered as the stable organic compound, stable organometallic compound, okay. However, this is not true actually, because several compounds with less than or your 18 electron rule, like if you see your G salts, right, and say your Grubbs catalyst, all these things, you can see they don't have the 18 electron system, but they are quite stable enough, okay. So it is not like that only your 18 electron systems are stable, right? 16 electron systems are also equally stable, okay guys. So since we are dealing with the see your transition metal complexes, so you should remember that particular table, okay. However, this you can see here, octet rule is also written there, but this octet rule actually followed by the main group elements which form the organometallic compounds, okay. So this octet, see, this actually you have to remember, because in this course I'll cover the only transition metal complexes, but sometimes you can have the question from the main group transition metal elements also, and see, if you have that question in your examination and you are trying to do your 18 electron system, then there would be problem, okay. So you should remember, whenever your main group elements are there, they will follow the octet rule. However, this octet rule actually are not followed actually the compounds actually generally not strictly followed this octet rule. So like your 18 18 electron rule, there is exception for the octet rule also, okay. So this you have to remember, and you can see this particular table. This is very important table guys, and I already told you so many times, there are certain things which you don't have at your fingertips, then definitely you will lose marks in your examinations. Like say you have to learn that lanthanide series and the actinide series by heart. This should be in on your at your fingertips, okay, on your fingertips, right? Similarly, you have the transition metal series like this. You can see the first, second, and the third transition metal series, 3D, 4D, and the 5D series, okay. This you have to learn by heart actually, right? So if you don't learn these things, then definitely you will lose marks in your examination. It doesn't matter whether you know how to solve the question or see, but without actually learning or mugging these things, you should not actually you will not be able to solve the problems, okay guys. However, I have made a trick to learn this particular entire table with their electronic configuration, okay. So you can go through, or I'll provide the link in the section also. Say this is first transition series guys, this is the 3D series, okay. So I'm writing 3D here. So these are the valence electrons: scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel. बस यहीं तक आपने stick करना है, okay. You have to actually do up to this point only, and you know scandium is what, it is 21, okay. So when scandium is 21, okay, I can write in that manner. Say this is scandium, Okay, it is not in the frame, so I will write here scandium. If it is 21, okay, so it will have 18 electrons, which is your argon configuration. Then you will remain the three, you will have the 3 extra electron, so that's why 3d electrons are there. So these are the electrons which are present in the d subshell, valence electron. These are the valence electron, d and 4s, right? Not only d and 4s. Okay, then titanium will have 4. Similarly, vanadium, chromium, they will all have these kinds of the these number of the electrons, and these are the groups actually, right? And whenever you have 8 electron in the iron, then this all this group will have actually these numbers of the electrons. So you should stick to that particular table. Okay, and one important point which you will note, 18 electron rule would be followed by the transition metal carbonyls here, especially more strictly. Okay, and carbonyls are very important. Later we will see in the upcoming lectures also. Okay, and apart from, you can see that this 18 electron rule, there is actually 16 electron rule also. And the transition metal complexes, especially which having the D8 configuration, they will follow this 16 electron rule. And more specifically, if you have the group 9 and the group 10 elements, like your rhodium, iridium, palladium, and your platinum. Rhodium in one state, iridium in one oxidation state, and palladium, platinum in a 2 oxidation state, and generally they are the square planar. Okay, you should remember that point. And see one more thing, what is the reason why the 18 electron compounds are so stable? So they give the reason. Say if this is here, say 4s, okay, and this is your 3d, 3p. Okay, this is how you can write. So 2, and if you fill all the subshells with the electrons, okay, just like that. So how many electrons you are having? The 2 plus 10, sorry, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so 2 here and 10 here and plus 6 here, so that will give you the 18. Completely filled, completely closed subshell they are having. That's why they are considered as the stable compounds. Okay, you should remember that thing. So first of all, you should remember this table by heart. And second thing, right, you have to learn this particular table, which actually I'm giving you here. So these are the ligands, these are the electron contribution, okay, towards the formation of the compound, and this is the formal charge present on the atom of the ligand actually, right? So remember one thing, whenever your ligand is neutral, whatever the new ligand is, if it is neutral, it will always contribute 2 electrons. Okay, and formal charge would be 0. You know the what is the formal charge? Say if I am talking about, say I am having my H2O, neutral H2O. Okay, so it will have the formal charge of 0. Nothing is there. But if you have, say, H3O positive, that means this oxygen will carry the positive charge on it. In that case, your formal charge would be, guys, +1. Okay, similarly, if you have the OH negative, say if it is the ligand, then, and in that case, if negative is there, okay, then formal charge would be -1. So formal charge is actually the charge present on the atom of the ligand, and this is important in case of the organometallic compounds. However, it is very easy. Okay, if you do the practice regularly, right, then there is no problem in learning that particular table. Okay, and one important thing you should remember, whenever I will show this full negative charge, it will show the presence of the 2 electrons. You should remember. Okay, this will show the presence of the 2 electrons. Okay, this is something very important, guys. So you see that this is metal and this is the carbonyl group. You know it's a neutral, the formal charge would be 0, and whenever this carbonyl would be there, it will contribute the 2 electrons. So in this lecture I am not going for the bridging ligands and the electron contribution by the bridging ligands and the terminal ligands. This I will cover in my next lecture. Similarly, you will have the phosphines actually. So PH3 is the phosphine, this is the trialkyl substituted. This is again, you see, this phosphorus is having the lone pair, so donation is through the lone pair. So again the electron count would be 2 actually. Okay, formal charge would be 0. Similarly, this is amine, NH3. okay, and this is amine, actually derivative of the ammonia, NH3. Again the donation is through lone pair, okay. So formal charge would be 0, but the electronic configuration would be 2. Similarly, if you go just like that, right, this is actually your Nr2, so you have removed one of the alkyl group from here. So in that case, nitrogen would carry a negative charge, okay. Whenever it will have the negative charge, so the formal charge would be 1, just like that I have explained here. It will also contribute 2 electrons. So I'm not going to explain this entire table in the detail, so you should remember this table in that manner, okay. So this table we will use regularly, okay. I'll use that particular table regularly when I'll solve the problem, okay. So you should remember that particular thing. However, there are some important things present in it, so these things actually will automatically be covered while we solve the problem. So guys, what you can do, so you can take the snapshot of this one, right, and then I am actually sliding this. Now you can take the snapshot. So you have the 2 snapshots, and these are the positions of the ligand, their electron contributions, all these things are there, okay. So I'm not going into the detail, but you can take the snapshot of this one, okay. I'm removing that particular page from this particular text, okay, so that we will use that particular table regularly, okay guys. So now I'm going to solve the problem based on this, right? Electron count, to actually know the number of the electrons present in the organometallic compound, so that we can decide whether it is the 18 electron system, 17 electron system, 16 electron system, or the 19 electron systems. Okay, so there are 2 methods, guys. Okay, first method is your oxidation method, and second method is the neutral method. See, whenever you will see the literature, right, then you will find this neutral method is more suitable to solve the problems. However, both the method actually will give the same results, but this method is quite actually regularly used to predict these things, because there is less chance of the error. While in this case, actually, whenever you go for the oxidation method, this oxidation method is also known as the ionic method, okay. And whenever you go this method, so the important thing is that you should remember, or you should learn the oxidation state. See, I have no problem in solving the questions by both ways, but personally I feel that that actually this is a little more easy for the beginners or for the learners, actually. So however, I will solve 3 or 4 problems of the with the 2 methods, and later on I'll switch to that neutral method only. So it is up to you how to practice, because if I continue with using both methods for all the problems, so I have 30 problems, actually. So 30 problem will take more time, actually. So this is actually what your CP2, okay. CP is cyclopentadienyl anion, okay, and I'm going for the ionic method, okay. You should remember. So in ionic method, you will do the heterolytic fission, okay. Heterolytic fission means this bond will break, okay. And remember, see, you hepaticity lecture, in the hepaticity lecture, you already know, whenever I start that bond from the center, which means all the 5 carbons are actually connected with the iron. Similarly, this is true here. This is true for this one. This compound is the ferrocene, very famous compound. So when the heterolytic fission takes place, the electron will shift towards the carbon. So why the electron pair will shift towards the carbon? Because carbon is having the electronegativity of, I think, 2.1, I suppose, okay. And this electronegativity of carbon is much more high than any of the first transition metal atom. So whatever the right from a scandium to nickel, actually, whatever the transition metals are there, they are having the less electronegativity than carbon. So whenever this fission will occur, then the electron will go to the carbon, okay. Similarly, this will go to the carbon, okay. So if you ionize, then you will what you will have, you will have that iron in the +2 oxidation state, okay guys. And along with this, you will have your cyclopentadienyl anion, okay. So I am putting negative here. So negative means, as I already told you, it represents the number of the 2 electrons. So you can now very easily find the electrons present in it, okay. So your iron, you see, iron 2 positive is actually having the 6 electron, okay. So this actually I have already told you here. You can see here, if you go for the, see, iron having the 8 electrons, and since you are using 2 positive, so it will lose the 2 electrons, so it will have the 6 electron, okay, plus. And how many electrons it is having? 2 to 4 to 6, okay. And how many ligands are there? That means 2, okay. So 6 to the 12, 12 plus 6, 18. So it's a 18 electron system, okay. So if you do actually the neutral method or the radical method, you know the radicals are neutral in nature. So what you will do, so 1 electron will come here, and 1 electron will go up. Similarly, 1 electron will come here, and 1 electron will go to the iron. So if you ionize that particular, okay, then your iron would be neutral in that case. You should remember, okay, because the electron which is actually this iron is gaining by this homolytic fission. So it is these are the electrons which actually already belongs to the iron only. Okay guys, so you will have the iron in the neutral stage, and iron is neutral, and then your cyclopentadienyl radical. Okay, so you know this is iron, so it will having 8 electrons. Okay, and here 2 2 4 and 1 electron, so 5 electron, it is present 2 times, again it is the 18 electron system. So this is how easily you can solve these problems. And this is your say pentacarbonyl iron. So in that case again you can go for both the method. So if, for example, I'm going for the ionic method, so I'm writing the ionic or the oxidation method. Okay, so in the oxidation method you should know the oxidation state of the iron, and you know that whenever the carbonyls are there, then the oxidation state of any metal would be 0 if all the carbonyls are present. So iron here is in 0 oxidation state. Okay, so iron will have the 8 electrons. Okay, and then carbonyl actually is a neutral compound, ligand, and it will provide 2 electrons. I already told you, right? Here you can see it is giving 2 electron. Electron count is 0, and electron count is 2 and formal charge is 0. Okay, so 5 carbonyls are there. You will multiply 5 into 2. This will give you the 18 electron system. This is ionic. Okay, and if you go for the neutral method, okay guys, so neutral method, you know, again the same thing would occur, would happen in that case. Okay, so how it will happen again? See, it is neutral, so 8, again 5 into 2, this will give you the 18. So this will not make any difference. Okay, and then you are having your third compound, say this particular one. Okay, and say I'm going for the neutral oxidation method or the ionic method. Okay, if I'm going for the ionic method, so I'm writing ionic for this one. And for ionic actually you should actually break this particular bond. So how you can write, say manganese is there, and how many carbonyls are there? I'm having 5 carbonyls, I suppose. This is how I can write. Okay, CO, 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 one CO here, another CO and another CO, and this is your actually CH3. Okay, so this, since this carbonyl is neutral, it cannot have actually any ligand. Okay, and this heterolytic cleavage will give you what? This will give you actually your CH3 negative. Okay, so 2 electrons are there in that, you should remember. Okay, how many electrons it is giving? 2 electrons. As I told you, your full negative actually shows the 2 electrons. So if you count the electrons on it, so you can see this actually CH3 will give you, see how I can write. Okay, negative charge is there, so let us check what it is giving. Alkyl group terminal. Okay, it is giving 2 electrons. Okay, electron count would be 2 in that case. Okay, so 2 for this one. And manganese actually an ionic method. In that case, if you see, manganese is in, if you can check what is the oxidation state of the manganese in that case, it is actually the +1. Why? Because these all are neutral, and this actually will go here. If you ionize that fraction, then remaining fraction, which is MnCO5, this will have the positive charge. So manganese is in +1 oxidation state. Okay, so manganese is having how many electrons? It is having say 7 electrons. So 7 electron system. You can see manganese is the 7 electron system. Okay, this is how I can show you. So when it is in +1 oxidation state, okay, that means it will have 1 electron less. So 2 plus 6 I can write. Okay, and then you see 5 carbonyls are there. 5 into 2, 5 to the 10, 10 plus 6 plus 2, 8, that is 18 electron system. Okay, this is how you can do. And right, if you go for your neutral method, okay, so neutral method, there is no problem in that, in the neutral method. So I can write CH3 MnCO. So this will contribute only 1 electron. Okay, and manganese will give 7, and this one actually, this is CO5. So 1 carbonyl give 2, the 5 will give you the 10. Again, it's a 18 electron system. Okay, so you can see these problems are quite easy. The only thing you should stick to the certain things actually. Okay, so this is important. Now my next problem is this particular one. where you see Cp is the cyclopentadiene anion, this is dicarbonyl chlorine. Okay, so you can see how I can go. So for this problem actually, for this problem what you can do, you can make this cyclopentadienyl just like that. In the center you are having iron, okay guys, and then you are having the chlorine. This is carbonyl, this is carbonyl. So if you go for the ionic method or the oxidation method, so how the fragmentation would occur, this will shift over there and this will shift over there, and what fragments you will have these fragments, okay, just like that. So this is negative over there, and second fragment you will have this Cl negative, and then you are having Fe CO 2 times. So two negatives are there, so it should have the two positive. That means iron is in +2 oxidation state. This is how easy you can actually determine the oxidation state. This is quite easy actually. Okay, so I am doing actually these problems directly. However, you can go for the standard procedure how to actually calculate the oxidation state. Okay, this is very easy actually. Okay, so now if you count the total electrons, so you can recall your iron is having 8 electron, but it is in +2 oxidation state. So iron will have the 6, okay, and 2 electrons by this chlorine, and 2 electrons by, sorry, 2 to 4 to 6 electrons by this cyclopent. So these 6 by Cp, this is by Cl negative, okay, and this is by Fe2 positive, and then your two carbonyls are there, 2 to the 4, okay. So again 6 6 12, 12 to 14 4 18, so it's a 18 electron system. There is no problem in that. And if you go for the neutral method, so in the neutral method you can straightforward write like your Cp FeCO whole twice Cl, okay. So neutral method will give you the 5, okay, and this will give you the 8, this will give you the 4, and this will give you the 1, okay. If you add all these, 8 for 12 13, again it's a 18 electron system. So in neutral method actually, as you know, this will give you the radical, this will have the 5 electrons, okay. This is iron, and this is 2 carbonyls, okay, and chlorine actually neutral method will have the only 1 electron, like you will have that CO dot in that case, okay. So this is how the electrons contributions are there. So this is quite easy guys, you can understand, there is no problem in that. And my next problem, say I'm giving you that particular problem, this is Cp2 CO positive. So this problem you can see, first I am going for the oxidation method, or say oxidation or ionic method, you can write anything for that, okay. So whatever I am having my cobalt here, and then I am having my this, okay. Nothing is given here, so you can assume the hepaticity is 5 in that case. Again you can see the hepaticity is 5, it should be eta 5 actually, okay. So this is how you can write, and you can put positive over there, okay. So if you actually ionize that particular compound, how it will ionize, this will go up and this will go down, so you will have the 2 of these species negative, okay, and then you are having cobalt, and cobalt will have the 2 positive over there, and positive is already there. This positive shows the deficiency of 1 electron. Remember, it shows the deficiency of 1 electron, which you should remember, okay guys. Without knowing this deficiency actually you cannot solve the problem. So how you can solve, cobalt is actually, you can see here what it is giving. Cobalt is the 9 system actually, 9 electron it is having, but it is in +2 oxidation state, so your cobalt will give you the 7, okay, and 2 to 4 to 6, so 6 into 2 12, okay. So 1 electron, one positive charge means the deficiency of 1 electron, that means 1 electron less, and deficiency means you have to subtract 1 electron. So it is a trick, whenever you have the positive sign over there, you will subtract that electron from the total number of the electrons. If you have negative over there, then you will have add 1 electron, because negative shows the actually gaining of electron, and this positive shows the deficiency of the electron. So if you solve, it will give you the 18 electron, okay. So this is 18 electron system, 6 into 2 12, 12 7 19, and minus 1 electron for this positive, you'll have this one, okay. And then if you go for the neutral method, so there is no problem in the neutral method. Cobalt, and I already told you, this will give you, cobalt will give you 9 electrons, okay, and these two will give you 10 electrons, and deficiency of 1 electron, that means minus 1 electron, again it will have, you have this 18 electron system. So this is how easy the problems actually, okay. But you should stick to the task, how actually the things actually you can solve, or you can see how you can solve the problem. You actually stick to the one method only. Okay, so this is again very important. Okay, now you can see my next method, my next compound. This is my CpIrMe4. Okay, so what you can do, you can straightforward produce that particular compound, right? Hepaticity is 5 actually, it is connected to the center actually. Okay, and 1 Cp, and then you are having the 4 methyl. Okay, 4Me. So now I'm sticking to the neutral method only. Okay, so in the neutral method, see, this iridium is the actually the partner of the cobalt, so it will give you the 9 electrons. So you can see here, this iridium is the partner of the cobalt. Okay, so this will give you the 9 electron. So your IR and your Cp radical, okay, and then you are having 4 Mes. Okay, radical method. So this will give you the 9 electron, this will give you the 5 electron. Okay, and 4 Me will give you the 4 electron. Okay, so all these are radicals, you should remember. Okay, see, this Cp is radical in that case. So 2 to 4 and 5 electrons are there, and CH3 is also a radical in that case. Okay, so only 1 electron, so 4 will give you the 4. So 9, 5, 14 plus 4, that will give you the 18 electron. So again, it is a 18 electron system. This is how actually you can solve the problem. If you go for the ionic method, then again it is very easy. Okay, say I'm solving for the ionic method also for this one actually. Okay, so this will break, this will come here, and all the electrons would go there, just like that. Okay, so your iridium in that case, so how many electrons it is losing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrons it is losing actually. Okay, so that means your iridium, it is in +5 oxidation state here. Clear? And then you will have your +4 of CH3 negative, and then you are having 1 of Cp, and you know the Cp with negative sign. Okay, Cp negative, you know. So this will give you how many electrons? 8 electrons. 4 2s are 8, because this negative will show 2 electrons. Okay, this will give the 6 Cp. How? This is just like that, 2 to 4 to 6. Okay, you can write in that manner. So iridium was the partner of the cobalt, it was having the 9 electron. Now from 9 it has lose the 5 electrons actually, because it is +5. So 9 minus 5, that will give you the 4 again. Okay, so it will give the 18 electron system. So it will not make any difference, you use any way actually. Okay, and then you are having your next problem, and say your next problem is this particular one. So this is again, you see, tantalum. Okay, so I'm going for the neutral method now. I'll not do that method. So tantalum actually, it is the partner of the vanadium. So if you can check here, it is the partner of the vanadium, and it will give you the 5 electrons. Okay, so whenever it is giving the 5 electron, and methyl, you know, 5 radicals are there. Okay, that means 5 CH3 dot. So how many electrons? 5 electrons from tantalum. Okay, and 5, see, you can see the 5 from this one. So how many electrons? It is having 10 electron. So it is neither your 18 electron, neither nor your 16 electron, right? So this is actually different type of the compound. So you should know these things also. Okay, now guys, little different problem now I'm going to solve. In that case, you have to determine the number of the ligands. You should go for this one actually. So again, you can adapt actually the ionic method as well as your say neutral method. So by both ways you can do that particular. Okay, so how I can do that, you can see, see, if you ionize that compound, okay, then you will have the 2Na positive. Okay guys, and then you are having FeCON, and this complex ion would have the 2 negative over there. Okay, iron actually will give you the 8 electrons if you do for the neutral method. Okay, that iron will give you 8 electrons. Okay, so how you solve? You write 8 here. Okay, and then this is N, so you can write CO n times. Okay, and how what is the charge present over there? This is -2. Okay, this is the condition. And whenever you will have these types of the question, so in the question itself it would be given like that, these follows the 18 electron rule. Okay, or either they will actually give you that they follows the 18 electron rule, or they will actually give you that these are the stable one. Okay, so you should follow the 18 electron rule in that case. So if you follow the 18 electrons rule, so what is the meaning of the 18 electrons? The electron of this, electron of this, and as well as the deficiency and the excess of the electrons. Okay, so what you can do, you can write 8 plus CON plus 2. When you will actually shift that negative 2 here, it will give you the plus 2, and because they are following the 18 electrons, so you will put the 18 here. Okay, then in that if you do that, then you will write CON equals to 18 minus 10, 8 plus 2 10, and when you shift the 10 there, then you will have 8 only. Okay, now the important thing you can see here, hence you can write n into CO. So this is the stoichiometric coefficient of n, so you can write in front of this one. Okay, as your prefix. Okay, and that is giving you how many electrons? 8 electron finally. And how many electrons the cobalt will see, this carbonyl will provide 2 electrons. You know, it will always provide 2 electrons. Again you can see 2 electrons by the carbonyls. So in that case you can write n multiply 2 equals to 8 and n equals to 6. Okay, so your formula in that case would become sorry, not 6, 2 4s are 8, very sorry, it is 2 4s are 8. Okay, so this is 4. So how you can write this compound is actually NaFeCO4. So you may have these problems also in your examination. Okay, now I'm going for this particular problem, this manganese part. Okay, again you see this manganese is the partner of see, it is the first member of this manganese. It contributes 7 electron. Okay, so when it is contributing the 7 electrons, so you can write 7 for this one. Okay, and Br actually, right, this Br, how many electrons it will contribute? It will give you only 1 electron. Why 1 electron? Because I am going for the neutral method. Okay, right, and then you will have your CON, no charge over there, so you will actually put 0 here, and ultimately that 0 would become 18. Okay, because it is following the 18 electron rule. So if you solve that problem, then you will have what? N times CO would be equals to 10, 7 plus 8, and 18 minus 8, that will give you the 10. So n into 2 equals to 10, n equals to 5. Okay, so in that case your compound would be MnBrCO5. Okay, so this is the answer. So how easily you see how easily you can solve these problems. And now you can go for this problem also, tungsten. I am going for the neutral method actually. So this is the partner of the chromium. Okay, if you recall my actually that trick, Karodpati Moorkh Woman. So you can see here, Karodpati Moorkh Woman. Karodpati means Cr, chromium, Moorkh means Mo, molybdenum, and woman means W. So it contributes how many electrons? 6 electrons. Okay, so W will give you the 6 electrons. So if you do, then 6. Okay, and this is benzene, right? This is C6S6. So see guys, while solving the problem, you should actually properly see what is given here. Don't confuse that it is actually a cyclopentadienyl anion and other thing. Actually it is C6H6, and eta in that case is not given, but I'm telling you it is eta 6 actually. Okay, I missed that to write that 6 here. So it is giving the eta 6 actually. Okay, when it is giving the eta 6, that means all carbons will give you the 1 electron. Okay, radical method I'm going. So benzene, how many? See, benzene is this type of the ligand. Okay, in that case, so it is connecting all the way with the 6 carbons. So 1 2 3 4 5, how many electrons it will give? It will give the 6 electron. And again no charges over there, so you can write CON equals to 18. Okay, then NCO equals to 6 6 12 6, and you know n into 2 equals to 6, n equals to 3. Okay, so if you put the 3 here, then your formula would become 3 here. So I'm not writing that again. So W eta 6 C6S6, and you will have 3 here. Okay, You can see how easily we can solve the problems based on this. And then you are having next problem, say this rhodium problem. So see, because see, I have so many problems in to solve actually. So I'm leaving that problem for you guys. Okay, this is this you can solve by your own. So if you don't know how to solve, then you can comment in the comment section. I'll provide the answer. Okay, and then you again I'm leaving that problem for you. Say for not leaving, actually this I can solve. So this chromium, how many electrons it will give you? It will give you the 6 electron. Okay, and this is eta 3. Eta 3, what is the meaning of the eta 3? This is cyclopentadienyl. Okay, in that manner. So what is the meaning of the eta 3? Only 3 carbons are connected actually. Okay, when 3 carbons are connected, eta 3, so it will give only 3 electron. Okay, so eta 3 means it will give you the 3 electron in the neutral method. Okay guys, and this is CO N, and CH3 again it will give you the 1 electron only, and no charge over there. They are following the 18 electron system. So you can write N into CO. Okay, so don't confuse in that manner. I am actually moving that N to S prefix actually to solve the problem. Okay, so 6, 3, 9 and 10, this is 8 actually. Okay, so CO equals to, sorry, N into 2 equals to 8, so N equals to 4. So again it is giving you the 4 actually, so you can write 4 in place of this one. Okay, this is how easily you can solve the problem based on this. Then again see, I am leaving that problem for you. Again you have to calculate that N actually. So these problems are actually the problems taken from the BD organometallic chemistry by the BD Gupta actually. So these problems are there. Okay, and also answers are also given in the at the end of the book actually. You can match the answer from there also. Okay, then the new is a new type of the problem. See, initially you have calculated the number of electrons. Okay, now in the two problems you have calculated the number of the ligands. Now you have to predict the metal. What is the metal present here actually? Right, this problem they can ask actually. So actually they are asking this problem in the gate examination as well as the net examination. So how you can solve that particular problem? So it's again quite easy. So how you can write? So you can write M instead for your metal. Okay, so it is eta 5. Eta 5 means it will contribute only 5 electrons, cyclopentadienyl. Okay, so this is how. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so all 5 carbons are connected. That means it will provide you the 5 electrons only. So you can write, so it is eta 5. So I have to check whether it is eta 5 or the eta 3. It should not be the eta 5. It should be eta 3 guys. Okay, sorry, it should be eta 3, because by putting 5 we cannot have the answer actually. So eta 3, that means it will give you the 3 electron. There is no problem in that. Carbonyl is neutral. Okay, so 5 one carbonyl will give you the 2 electrons. Okay, so 5 will give you the 10. 5 2s are 10. Since it is a stable compound, so you will write 18. Okay, then M equals to 18 minus 13 equals to 5. So whatever the metal you will put here, they actually should it should contribute 5 electron. So vanadium actually contributes 5 electrons, I suppose. Yes, you can see the vanadium contribute 5 electron. Similarly, your niobium as well as tantalum, both can contribute actually these electrons. So now see, if nothing is given in the question whether the metal belongs to the 3D, 4D or the 5D, so you straight forward write the answer for the 3D, right? So in that case the answer could be anything, your vanadium, okay, your niobium and your tantalum. Okay, but if it is given for the 3D series, then vanadium would be the answer. For 4D, the niobium, and 5D for tantalum. And this will be given in the question. If not given, then you will stick to the first transition series. Okay, so this is how you can solve. Okay, then I can go for the next problem. What is my next problem? Okay, this problem, however, see, you can see here, this problem is a special problem. Okay, so you have to solve this also. So how we can solve this particular problem? You can see whatever is given in this particular square bracket, actually it is having the 2. So 2 means, that means 2 tungstens are there. Definitely you will have the 2 tungstens are there. So whenever you will have the 2 tungsten here, definitely one tungsten bond should be there. One metal bond should be there. You should remember that particular thing. Okay, and in question also it will be given whether it is having the one tungsten bond, two tungsten bond, and any other. Okay, so when you have this particular situation, okay, then you can very easily write in that question tungsten and tungsten. So two CP are there. You can write one CP here and one CP here. CP means cyclopentadienyl. Okay, and then your X you have to actually determine this. Now this X you have to determine. So how I can solve this particular problem, you can see I'm going for the neutral method. So how many electrons this CP will give you? Only 5 electrons it will give you. Okay, and then how many electrons would be given by you can see the tungsten itself. So forget about this bond. Tungsten, it will give the 6 electron. Crorepati Murkh woman, if you recall that famous trick, Crorepati Murkh woman, it will give you the 6 electron. Okay, so 5 plus 6 for this one. Okay, there is no problem in that, and you can write CO in that manner, right? And you see, if this is a stable compound, then it will definitely follow the 18 electron rule. So you will have COX times equals to 6, 5, 11. So 18 minus 11 equals to 7. Okay, so it is 6, 5, 11, 18. Okay, one metal, see one thing I missed here. Since one metal bond is here, so if you cleave that homolytically by neutral method, that means one tungsten will contribute 1 electron. So you have to put 1 electron for this one also. Okay, so 6, 5, 11, 1, 12. Okay, this should be 12, and that will give you 6. Okay, and from here you know X into 2 equals to 6 and X equals to 3. So you can write 3 here. So this is the answer. If you write the 3 here, that means 3 carbonyls are there attached with the 2 chromiums, CO, CO, CO and 3CO. This is how you can solve if you have given these two numbers. Okay, so you have to consider that metal bond which I actually missed actually, then later on I put that value here. And similarly you have, see now initially you were calculating that number of the ligands. Now you have to calculate the charge. Again you see nickel cobalt, this is not carbonyl, this is nickel, this is cobalt. One nickel cobalt is there. So if you cleave in that manner, so one electron will be contributed by the cobalt and one by the nickel. You should remember that particular point. Okay, so if you actually skip that point, then there would be difficulty in solving the problems. Okay, so how you can do that actually? So first of all, I'm doing for say this fragment. So one carbonyl contributes 2 electrons, so 2 into 3. Okay, and nickel will give you the 10 electrons. How many electrons nickel will give you? You see here nickel actually provides the 10 electrons. Okay, and see, so nickel will give you 10 electrons, and 1 electron would come by this cleavage, so you can write plus 1 over here. Okay, so 2 3 just 6, plus 10 16 was 17, so it will give you the 17 electrons. Okay, now you go for that fragment. Cobalt will give you the 9 electron, I suppose. Okay, because you see cobalt is here, it will give you the 9 electron. So when it is giving the 9 electron, 9 plus 3 carbonyls are there, that means 3 into 2, and 1 is coming by this fragment, that is 1. Okay, so again how many electrons? 3 3 6 1 7, 9 or 7 16, so it's a 16 electron. This is a 16 electron fragment, this is the 17 electron fragment. Okay, so it is having the deficiency of 1 electron, it is having the deficiency of 2 electron. Okay, so if you calculate the deficiency, then this will give you say 18 minus 17 equals to 1, and here it will give you the 18 minus 16 equals to 2. So 3 electron deficiency is there. Okay, 3 electron deficiency is there. Okay, so whenever you have the 3 electron deficiency, so you have to put actually 3 negative here. Okay, and your next problem, find the metal. If the complex is stable, you have to find the metal. So this is Cp. I'm going for the neutral method, so it will give you the 5 electron. Metal, you don't know what is this, okay. And in that case you can see uh, the Cp, this is metal, and 6 electron, 3 to the 6 electron would be given by this species, okay. Then how you can write, and say if it is following the 18 electron system, so you will have to write 18 here. So m equals to 18 minus 11, that will give you the 7, okay. So you have to look for the species which give the 7. So again you have 3 answer: manganese, titanium and rhenium, okay. You have these 3 answers, and it will depend upon the question whether it is asking for the 3D, 4D or the 5D series. So you can write any one of them, okay. Okay guys, there is no problem in that, okay. Okay, no, so sorry, I have missed up. See, this happens actually again. See, I have missed a point here. Very important, very crucial point I have missed here. So what was that crucial point? See, twice is given here. What is the meaning of the twice? That means this metal is present 2 times. So there should be the metal-metal bond. There should be the metal-metal bond, guys. Okay. So now the problem will change. 5 for Cp. Okay, because this metal actually is having the one metal-metal bond, so it will provide 1 electron. You can write M for this one, and 3 to the 6. 1 carbon will provide 2, 3 will give you the 6, and that will give you the 18. Now your M equals to 6, 7, 5, 12. 18 minus 12 equals to 6. You are having the 6. Okay, so whenever you are having the 6, that means the chromium series. So chromium, MOW, either of the 3 actually, okay. So answer would be can be your chromium, molybdenum and tungsten. So this is very important, okay. This 2 is given here, that means it will have the 1, okay. So I'm leaving that particular problem for you. This is osmium, and again the 2 is here. Now you have to calculate this X. So I have solved that particular problem already, so you can solve by your own. And then you can see my next problem, which you have to calculate the X. So in that case it is very easy. See, cobalt, how many electrons the cobalt will give you? It will give you the 9 electrons. It's a 9 electron species cobalt. You straightforward write 9, okay, and 3 into 2, in that manner you can write, okay. 3 into 2, that is 6, okay. And you have to calculate, see, for this X actually. So this is the charge, so you can write charge. And if this is the stable species, so you can easily write, see, you can shift this X here and give you 18. Why 18? If this species, see, this is the way of actually, this is the standard procedure to solve the problems actually. So this is X, right? So this will give you the minus X here, okay. Sorry, this was the charge, X, this X is here. You cannot put that X, okay. This should be positive, guys, okay. This should be positive. So sorry, okay, sorry, remember one thing, whenever this X is there, so this is a positive in number. When it is positive, so you have to write positive here. Sorry, you have to write positive here, okay. When it is positive, then it is 18. Now your X equals to 18 minus 15 equals to 3. So 3 positive charge is over there. So you can write this complex as in that manner. This is 3, okay. So this is how you can solve. And this happens actually if you don't do the practice regularly, then you will have such problems actually. So whatever the X, see, if it is negative, then you will write negative here. If it is positive, then you will write the positive here, okay. And in that manner you can find. And then my next question is question number 19, okay. Find the nature of the VCO6, okay, whether it is oxidizing agent or the reducing agent, and also the magnetic properties. This is the special problem, guys, okay. So you have to find this, whether it is actually oxidizing agent, reducing agent, or what is the magnetic property. So VCO6, so if you go for the neutral method, so vanadium will give you the 5, okay. This vanadium will give you the 5 electrons. And how many electrons? 2 into 6, okay. So 5, 6 to 12, that will give you 17. So it's a 17 electron system. See, you don't have to find X, you don't have to find the number of the ligands, okay, like here, and you don't have to find the charge. So you not need to put that 18. So it's a 17 electron system, and when it is the 17 electron system, it will easily gain one electron from any reaction and becomes 18 electron system. So this process is what? This is reduction. Addition of electron is reduction. So when reduction is happening, that means it will act as the oxidizing agent. You know, in the redox reaction, when the one species is undergoing the reduction, it will act as the oxidizing agent. So this is a very strong oxidizing agent. This species is very strong oxidizing agent. Okay. And similarly, if you check the magnetic behavior, so it's a 17 electron system. 17 electron system means it will have the one unpaired electron. Okay. So how? Say this picture. So if you fill all the 18 electrons, then definitely one of the electron would remain one. This is for 18 electron. If you fill the 17 electron, then definitely this would actually having the unpaired electron. Okay, this is how you can write. So this is paramagnetic in nature. This is paramagnetic. So these type of problems can also be asked in your examinations. Okay. Then my next problem, find the nature. Okay, same problem. Magnetic property and the nature. So you straight off forward count the electrons. Cp is the cyclopentadienyl. So if I use the neutral method, now this will give the 5 into 2. Okay, 10 electron. It's a 10 electron system. Okay, and cobalt. How many electrons this cobalt will give you? It will give you the 9 electron. So it's a 19 electron system. So when it is the 19 electron system, it will lose 1 electron to become 18 electron system. That means losing of electron, that means the process is oxidation. Okay, and the process is oxidation, that means this is actually the strong reducing agent, and it was actually the 19 electron system, so it is again the paramagnetic. This is how you can solve. Okay, see guys, so far we have solved the problems for your 18 electron systems. Now I am going for the some problems which are not actually the 18 electron system, but they are actually a different one. So this is your Wilkinson catalyst. See guys, remember this video is going very lengthy, but why I am solving these problems? So these problems can be asked straightforward in your examinations. That's why I am solving these problems. See, they can ask this Wilkinson catalyst, what is the electron system present in the Wilkinson catalyst, Grubbs catalyst, on all these things. Okay, so I'm going for this one. So this rhodium is the partner of the cobalt. This will give you the 9 electron. Komal Radha ka irada. This was my trick. Komal Radha ka irada. Cobalt contributes 9. So rhodium will also contribute 9. Okay. So how you can solve this particular problem? 9 for this one. Okay. And 1 for chlorine, because we are this Cl radical. Okay, and this PH3 they are the neutral ligands. Neutral ligands always contribute the 2 electrons through lone pair, and 3 times they are present 3. So 9 plus 10, it's a 16 electron system. It's a 16 electron system. And what is the oxidation state here? See, for oxidation state you should know what you can actually heterolytically ionize this. So if you shift the, see, chlorine is more negative than rhodium, so what you will have? Cl negative, and then you are having the RH PPH3 3 times. So 1 negative actually gone, so it will have the 1 positive. So rhodium is in +1 oxidation state. You should remember actually. Okay, in Wilkinson catalyst it's a 16 electron system, and the rhodium having the 1 electron over there. And then your next complex is your Vasquez complex, right? And again you can see the iridium, Komal Radha ka irada. Again it's this. I already told you, whenever you have the square planar, whenever you have this 16 electron system, so they belongs to the D8, D8, D9, D10. Okay, so again it's a partner of your cobalt system. So this iridium will give you the 9 electron. Okay, and cobalt will give you the 2 carbonyl will give you the 2 electrons, and 2 ppH3 will give you the 2 into 2 4 electrons, and this actually will give you the 1 electron. So how many electrons are there? 2 to the plus 1, 2 to the 4, 4 plus 1 5. Okay, and 5 to 7, 7 or 9, 16. Again it's a 16 electron system. So what is the oxidation state here? So again you can see this is neutral, this is neutral, this is neutral. If you ionize, then this will move as, chlorine will move as negative. so it will put the positive 1 over there. So iridium is again in +1 oxidation state. Then your Grubbs catalyst, and I think it is the first generation catalyst. And now this is the problem is very important. This is your carbene. This is what? This is your carbene. Okay. Now you have to see here. Where is my carbenes? How many electrons they will see? This is carbene. So whenever carbene is there, they will give you the 4 electron, and -2 charge would present over there. So how you can write, say this is your CH4. If you remove one hydrogen from here, this will give you the CH3 negative, and if you remove one further electron from here, one hydrogen further from here, then this will give you the CH2 2 negative. Okay, so this is carbene, and carbene is having the formal charge of the 2, right? And one actually negative, I already told you, one negative represents 2 electrons, so 2 negative will give you the 4 electrons. That's why the contribution of the carbene would be the 4 electrons. This you should remember. So if you calculate, okay guys, so I made a little mistake in solving this problem, so I have edited that part actually. Okay, so I am solving this problem again. So ruthenium actually will give you the 8 electrons, and 2 chlorines are there. One actually chlorine will give you the 1 electron, that is 2 into 1, 2. Okay, and then PCY3 actually, these two are actually the neutral ligands, so they will present actually they will give you the 2 electrons. And then you are having the carbene. So at this point actually I made a mistake. So you can see here 2 negative charges over there. Whenever the 2 negative charge is there, total electron count, see electron count would be actually here. This actually I told you the electron contribution, but it is not electron contribution, it is electron count. So you can see the electron count is actually 2 negative here. Electron count is 4 actually, 2 2s are 4, right? This I have explained. But out of this 4, 2 electrons actually used by the carbon only to form with the 2 hydrogen. So this carbene actually having the electron count is 4, but it will give you the 2 electrons. Okay, so when it will give you the 2 electrons, so you can write 2 here. So if you add all of them, then 8 to 10 and then 14, 2 plus 16, so it's a 16 electron system. So if you want to determine the oxidation state here, so you know these two are the see all these are, see carbene, ruthenium, this carbene is there. Okay, and these two are, see this will have the 2 negative charge. So when you will ionize, so 2 negative, see if you ionize that particular fragment, so say in that manner pH. Okay, so 2 negative will go with that, and this 2Cl will carry the 2 negative, so 4 negative actually gone. So this ruthenium will have the 4 positive. So in Grubbs catalyst generation 1, you will have +4 oxidation state. Okay, actually at this point I made a mistake. Okay, and you can see here my next problem. See, this is second generation Grubbs catalyst. So again you can solve that problem very easily. So this ruthenium, see this chlorine, 1 into 2 contribution would be just like that. Ruthenium, like there, it will contribute the 8 electron, neutral method. This is PC, this will contribute 2 electron, this is neutral, right, cyclohexyl derivative. Okay, and this is carbene, this will again give you the 2 electrons, and this is again, you can see this is the carbene actually, this is NHC carbene. Okay, so this is the abbreviation of this particular group. I told you in my last lecture also, and this is the carbene, this will also contribute the 2 electrons. Okay, so 2 for this one, 8 for this one, 2 for this one, 2 for this one, and 2 for this one. Okay, so this will give you the 8, 6, 14 plus 2, 16. Okay, so again it's a 16 electron system. And what is the oxidation state? You know the see if you ionize this one, only this one is neutral, all are the charged species. So if you ionize that species, then you will have the 2Cl negative. Okay, then this carbene fragment will have the 2 negative, and then this NHC fragment will also have the 2 negative. So 6 negatives are there. So definitely the 6 positive would be there. So this ruthenium is in +6 oxidation state, right? So this is how you can solve the problem. Okay, and then your next problem, which is this one, Okay, this problem is again the important one. You can see here this molybdenum. Then you can write the electron count. Okay, this now see this guys again. This is the very special problem. Very special problem. Nitrosyl. Okay, and you should remember. See, whenever this double bond is there, that means it's a bent nitrosyl, and when this triple bond is there, that means it is a linear nitrosyl. You should remember in that manner. Okay, and if double bond and triple bond are not there, given not given in the examination, they straightforward write NO. So you have to check the angle actually. Okay, so this is 90 degree. This is bent. So this actually and in examination this will give you the in the straight line. So this would be the linear. So when nitrosyl is linear, it will contribute the electron differently, right? When it is actually the linear, it contributes 3 electrons. You should remember, okay? And when it is bent, it contributes 1 electron. This actually I have given in my table also. Where is my see? You see here in this table NO bent, okay, and NO linear. So here I have written 2 electrons it is giving, okay, and here so not 2 actually, in one case it will give you the 3 electrons, right? So see 1 and 3 linear, in case of the linear it is giving 3 electrons actually, okay. So you can correct this. It is giving in that linear case it is giving the 3 electrons, okay. So if you calculate the electrons, now this will give you the 5 electrons because it is connected with the center. Hepaticity is the 5. Okay, so how you can write 5, 3 from linear, 1 from bent, and this is your say LL, and it is connected with the center. That means all 3 R's are connected. So it will also give you the 3 electrons. Right, this is connected with all the 3 carbons. It will give you the 3 electrons. And this molybdenum is the partner of the chromium. It will give you the 6 electron. If you count the total electron, 5, 8, 9, 12, 18. So it's a 18 electron system. So it's a 18 electron system. Okay. Then you are having the next problem. Your say carbene. So how you can identify that carbene? You can see here COT is given here. Okay, carbon, and with OET is given here. So actually you see there are some things which you have to remember. See, there are some structure which you have to remember actually. Vasquez complex, Wilkinson's, Grubbs, first generation, second generation, Fischer carbene, Schrock carbene. Okay. However, this I don't have the problem based on the Schrock carbene, but you should remember. So you should know the structure of that particular thing. Okay, so how you can make the structure for this one? Say chromium I'm writing in that manner, and straightforward I am putting my 5 carbonyls here, CO, and all CO I am putting here, then carbon. So this is carbene actually, so you have to write double bond here. Okay, and this is having OET here, and after OET you are having NMe2. Right, you have to remember this structure. Now it's very easy. So these 5 carbonyls are there, that means 2 into 5, and chromium, you know, it contributes 6 electrons, and carbene actually you have already seen it contributes 2 electron. Okay, and in that case you can see if you see this one, then this will give you what? 5 to the 10, 6 16 plus 2 18. So it's a 18 electron system. Okay, and then again you can find the oxidation state of this chromium. So it's very easy. So these all are neutrals, and if you fragment, then carbene would go with the 2 negative, automatically 2 positive would be there. So it is 2 positive. Okay, now I'm going to finish this lecture within 4 and 5 minutes. Okay guys, so if you feel the lecture is lengthy, what you can do, you can see the lecture in the fast forward manner. Okay, so now my problem is problem number 27. See, again carbon is given here, so again it's a carbene system. Okay, so you should remember that structure. This is manganese, this is cyclopentadienyl, and these are the 2 carbonyls which are connected with this one. You can write in that manner. This carbon is there, that means it is carbonyl, and PH2 is there. Okay, so you know cyclopentadienyl, it will give you the 5 electron. 2 carbonyls will give you 2 to the 4 electrons. Manganese will give you say 7 electron, I suppose. Yes, manganese is giving 7 electrons. you can write 7 here, and carbene will give you the 2 electrons. Okay, so you can count 2 to the 4, 6, 18. It's a 18 electron system. Okay, so if you ionize this, again manganese would be in the you can see here this Mn, right, 2 positive, this 2 for this one, okay, and 1 for this one actually, right. So it will see if you ionize that one, so 1 negative would go with this one, Cp negative, and 2 negative would go with that fragment. So 3 negative, that means it is in 3 positive. So it's in 3 positive oxidation state. Okay guys, then you are having this particular problem. Okay, again this seems a pretty simple problem. It's a carbene, so I'm leaving that problem for you guys. Okay, what you can do, you can ionize. See, not, you not need to ionize. Actually this fragment is, you have nothing to do with that fragment actually, forget about this one. Okay, and you can then solve for the, see, okay, I'm not leaving that problem for you. Say cyclopentadienyl ion, it will give you the 5 electrons. Okay, iron will give you the 8 electrons, carbonyl will give you the 2 electrons, PPH3 will give you the 2 electrons, and this CF2, this is carbene again, this will give you the 2 electrons. Okay, and one positive is over there, so you can write +1 here. So if you solve 2 to 6, 11, 19, and +1 is over there, so actually it was just like that. So when you solve this, this will give you the 18. So it's a 18 electron system. So if you count all the electrons, this will give you the 19, but one positive is there which shows the deficiency. You have to put positive here, and this will come here, right? Whenever you are solving for the charge, then you have to put positive here, but when you are adding the electron, then you have to put here actually. Okay, so this is your 18 electron system again. Okay, so this is how you can solve. And then you can go for this. This is again your carbene problem. You can Cc is there, not carbene actually, 2 Cc is there. It should be actually your different compound. See, this is tungsten, then this should be, okay, just like that. It's a carbine. Okay, and 3 methyls are there, and then you are having 3 these things. Okay, CO, not CO actually, this is O, this is C, this is O, this is C, this is O, this is C, and 3 methyls are there in that manner. Okay, and now it's very easy to calculate. So if you see these, all these 3 actually are, you can see here, this will give you the 3 electron, 6 electron by this one. Okay, and 3 electrons by this one. So how you can solve, if you ionize, okay, so this actually, this fragment is not neutral carbonyl, it is, the donation is through oxygen. Okay, when the donation is through oxygen, that means 1 electron is there actually, 1 electron is there, 1 electron is there, so they will contribute 3 electrons, 3 into 1. Okay, and then you are having this triple bond here, and how many electrons it will contribute? It will also contribute 3 electrons, because 3 negative charge over there, and tungsten will give you 6 electron. So this will give you 3 1 ja 3, 6 plus 6, so it's a 12 electron system. It's a 12 electron system. Okay, and you know 3 negative is there, 3 negative is there, this is 6 positive. Tungsten is in +6 oxidation state. This you should remember. And again the problem based on the carbonyl, you see this is actually your linear carbonyl. Okay, and this is actually your bent. So you have to check the number of electrons contributed, how many electrons they will contribute. Okay, so we should remember your molybdenum will give you the 6 electron. Okay, and Cp will give you the 5 electron, this will give you the 3 electron, bent will give you 1 electron, and linear will give you the 3 electrons. So how many electrons? 6, 5, 11, 3, 14, 18. It's again the 18 electron system. So this is how you can solve the problem based on this, right? If you find some mistake, or say in solving the problem, then you can comment in the comment section. Okay, and if you're finding difficult to solve such problems, then again you can comment in the comment section. But I have solved the plenty of questions for you, and by practicing such questions, you can easily gain actually at least 2 marks, and maybe who knows, you may gain the 4 marks based on this also. Okay, so that's it for today. In the next class I'll continue with the bridging ligands and the metal-metal bond. Okay guys, so if you are understanding the things, subscribe the tetrahedron chemistry classes, share with your friends, hit the bell icon for the latest notification. Thank you very much.